race director, and I'm head manager, and I don't know if it's general manager.
Okay. Just want to say the wrong thing, and someone comes up to you like, "What's in here?"
That's all.
This is the guy you're gonna yell at.
Proceeds to.
And ask if there's like a red light flash.
Good. Okay.
Is he gonna stay over there? Or is he coming over?
They stand over there.
Okay.
We're good.
How's it going, guys? My name's Caleb Smock. I'm going to be the announcer here, coming up for this first race back here at Whiteland Raceway Park with all the updates we're going to get into a little bit shortly. Again, that first race is coming up this Saturday. I'm joined by Andy O'Gara, the owner of Whiteland Raceway Park, and Vince Haddon, who's sitting over here to my left. He is the manager and race director for this upcoming race. We're currently sitting in the VIP suite that you guys can also purchase here coming up at any race weekend as well, and we're going to get more into that just a little bit later. The updates are all right behind us, but to talk about what has happened over the winter is going to be Andy, who's going to go into just everything that you guys have done this past winter time.
Yeah, first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody for their patience and understanding throughout the winter. It's been a heck of an endeavor for us. I didn't have the vision 5 years ago of where we're at today, and with the support of the team around us, with Sarah and Kyle and Rocky and Marissa and our wonderful construction crew at McGovern Construction and Howard Company on the paving side, we've been able to accomplish a lot. I'm super proud of the track expansion and the building expansions, and everybody really committing to being here with us and to seeing where we can go for the future together. I think it's extremely bright right now. We're excited to get going on Saturday. We beg for your continued patience and understanding. We're still somewhat new to this on this level. We've got a lot of new software we're working through. We've got a new website we're working through. We've got a lot of new staff we're working through. Just ourselves, we're learning these configurations, what works and what doesn't work, and we've got a number of things that will be ready. I feel like we're going to be 90-95% for Saturday. The lights will be ready. They're installed. We got final hookup and stuff the next week or two. Same with the motorhome spots, power for those. Everything's being finalized right now, and then final hookups, so those will be ready in the next week or two. The restroom building will be shut off for this weekend completely. We are still tapping into water and sewer, but everything interior-wise is completely done and ready. So that'll be done in the next week or two. We will have 6 portalets on site. We've got the restrooms below the suite tower. We've got the restrooms in the main building. So I think that'll be good. We've obviously got a lot of dirt work that is within the final stages of being finished. So we've ran barriers in places that we might not typically run barriers, but we're trying to make it as safe and as productive as possible for you guys come Saturday. So yeah, like I said, lots of little things to still dot the I's and cross the T's on, but I'm really excited about where we're at, really excited to share it with everybody, and I can't thank you enough for your support and enthusiasm for our family and the staff here with Vince Haddon and his guys, and like I said, Kyle, Rocky, Marissa, Sarah, everybody at SIK, Brady. We've had an incredible amount of work put in by those guys over the winter to get us to where we're at right now. Obviously, we all wanted it to be a little bit earlier, but Mother Nature had a say in that, and it all worked out for the best. Everything's going to be good, and we're thrilled for Saturday. So thank you guys for everything, and we'll get into the rest of the show.
And before we keep going on, I also want to mention too, if you have any questions and you're watching live on Facebook, you can leave them in the comment section towards the latter half. Once we get done with all of our questions and updates that we've done, we'll go through and read those and we'll answer it. So if you guys have anything you want to know personally, please leave it in the comment section. We'll try to answer it as best as we can. Now I'm going to switch over to Vince. Now you got promoted up into this role, you said late October, early November. Talk to us about what you've done over since November until now, and what your team has had to undertake here the past couple months.
Oh wow, honestly most of it, at the start of the winter we were waiting on the primary dirt work to get done, so we couldn't really tackle the track. So me and my mechanic Jay, we were just getting the rental carts ready to go, getting them prepped, gears. I think the rental carts this year are going to be a lot more fun. You're going to be able to draft better, better passing with each other. Once winter broke, we were really able to get on track, start moving fencing, barriers around. just making sure that we can shape the racing surface how we think will race well so that it flows, and ultimately just making sure that it's going to be a safe, enjoyable experience for everyone.
Now, something else I want to ask you about too is from last year to this year, there's going to be, and I'm sure this is going to come up in the comment section as well for questions, but last year we had the A grid and the B grid of how we would organize to go out. Now we have what I think is awesome is covered pit lane for coming in and out of the pits. It's going to be on the same stretch of road, but different ways. So it talks a little bit about what the drivers can expect coming off track and going on track, different from last year.
Right, so grid, we're still going to have a grid A and grid B on two sides. It's very wide. I think everyone's going to be kind of taken aback at how big it is when they first get on premise. I know I was. But there's a wide enough opening, and we're going to be running barriers and cones to separate it. For this layout in particular, this will not be permanent. It depends on what layout we're running. But when you exit grid, you're going to stay to your left, and they'll put you right on track. And when your session's over, you're just going to continue the same layout, and then you're going to see those barriers, and we'll have signs and marshals directing you the whole way. So it's kind of like a two-lane road with barriers in the middle, so like a median. So you're not going to run into each other, perfectly safe. And I think everyone's going to really enjoy the new buildings.
And you're gonna come under the tower upon entry to the pits, and the scale house will be in there and flow directly into tech. So that's a big highlight here to kind of centralize our tech guys, centralize the off-track procedures, and to keep them undercover as well as the A and B grids. So I think it's wide enough for 2 cart wide A and B grid, both sides, and 30 carts deep, so 30 rows deep. So really hoping to see that full.
And something I want to ask about too, and this is Andy to you about the infrastructure when everything happened. It's a lot of planning went into this because I believe it was about early October when you and Sarah announced that you were going to do the expansion. One of the biggest, I guess, growing pains that you've had over your course of owning Whiteland is pit parking and how you had to basically shimmy people around to get into certain spots. Now with the entire pit lane being open, what different procedures are people going to have to do as far as coming in and getting the pit box?
Well, I think, obviously we released parking last night for the single event basis only this weekend, and then we'll allow you to re-up that if you're happy with your spot to go for the full season there. But yeah, I mean, initially 5 years ago, we're locked into 9.8 acres, I love the old facility, but being able to grow and expand with another 25 acres allowed us to put in a 4+ acre parking lot with 100 paved powered spots for bigger trailers, motorhomes, families, that kind of thing. So we'll see people enter on the 2 north entrances for race day. We are putting all of our pit pass, our trailer parking stuff out there. It's probably going to be a little bit tricky and a little bit cumbersome come Saturday. We still have a lot to figure out there, but once you get in the facility and get in your spot, I think you're going to be able to spread out, and we're going to have the amenities to really host the bigger events that we need to. So, and I know we've taken a little bit of flack for the parking charges and stuff, but I've raced throughout the country my whole life, and especially on the karting side the last few years with our kids. And I think we're right on par with everybody else. And we've spent $4.5–5 million this winter to do this renovation. Almost $2 million in paving and infrastructure just with the track side and the parking side without construction. So as a business owner, we have to be responsible and look out for ourselves with the bank and everything else, and that's just a part of it. And trying to build a world-class facility, it takes the money coming in from both sides and the vision from everybody buying in as a group. And eventually we'll get that field seated for the people that don't want reserved spots and want to park over there for free as they come in on race day, and we'll make that nice. Right now it's a lot of dirt, and we're trying our best to go as quick as we can, and it's a little bit tough, but we appreciate all the support.
Now, Vince, I want to get to you. Last year you worked a lot on track, you were on the grid, you were grid in and out. You're not new to being around a racetrack, obviously with your brother racing and growing up in a family that was big into motorsports. And you do have the background in order to take over being race director. just so people know that Andy and Sarah doesn't have some random guy just coming in and calling shots. But what are some things that you might have concerns of for the racers coming into this one compared to stuff that you've seen last year they might want to just improve on a little bit going into
Okay, you're right. Last year I started out as grid. About halfway through the season I moved to co-race director with Cameron Gladish. So not entirely new to the position, kind of got a good feel of how our regulars like to race. I think the main thing this year is the track is just so wide in the new section. I think the first couple sessions people are gonna get a little giddy and kind of be like a kid in a candy store and go for some spots. So I just want everyone to use their head this year. We want clean racing. We want it to be hard racing, of course, and fun, but keep it clean. I know last year we had some issues with our 206 senior field. Hopefully by breaking that down into light, medium, and heavy, we'll kind of alleviate some of those issues this year. But just try to stay off each other. Be very aware of where you're bumping, especially going to that bank turn. I've seen it time and time again. People get loose over there. And then for the kids, just listen to our flags. If you see that yellow flag, slow down for us. We are going to have the automatic flashing yellow lights, which I think will help greatly. But pay attention to flags, pay attention to the marshals. Ultimately, just use your heads and we'll have a great year.
And Andy, I want to go back to you for a second. When you think back to Whiteland before you and Sarah took over control of running it, you brought all these amazing upgrades. I think one of the biggest things that any track needs, and Whiteland was especially missing, is stores and shops within the track where you can go and purchase items. If you bend something, you don't have to go back home or run what you bring, because we've all been in a situation where we think we bring enough, you bend something, oh, I don't have that. But with all the new teams and stores that are coming in now, how much of a role did that play over the winter as to redesigning everything that's gone on from not only the track side, but also on the grid side, or on the pit side?
I think it played a lot. You know, I think it's just evolution of the sport. I mean, I remember coming down here with little to no spares when I started racing in the early 90s in the back of my mom's station wagon. And, you know, the availability to even get a can of chain lube or a can of oil was tough. And I think the previous owners continued to grow that and did what they could at the time. But now to have the support of the people that we do on site with MPG Motorsports, Race Factory, AMAX, Nugent, Top Cart, and what we've got inside with your tires and fuel, you shouldn't have to leave the premises. And it's more than just going and getting a part. It's being able to lean on some people, talk to some people on setup stuff. If you take the time with them, there's nobody around here, in my opinion, that wouldn't help you better understand what you need to be doing, chassis setup wise, engine tuning wise. You got a lot of great people here, from the 4-stroke side, from the 2-stroke side, from the chassis side, and you've got all the tools and elements that you need to be successful and run against the very best, even on a national level. I think you're going to see a lot of good national racers here, and I think, you know, we've seen a few of our own come out of here the last couple of years, and it's all part of making sure that you surround yourself with the best people. And I think you know, having that on the parts availability side is very important.
And something else I want to get into as well, going to the track expansion itself, because I think that's saying there's so many things people are excited for. I think that's the one that people are craving for a little bit, because Whiteland always had this special little gym to it where it's been known as a bull ring, one of the smaller tracks, but it raced so well. Now that you've gone in, repaved all the old tracks, which I don't know if that was mentioned, but not a lot of people know, is that everything is brand new paved. With the expansion itself, you're a racer at heart. When it went into the design of things, how much of a say did you have into how to redesign things and think of how it could race?
You know, I wanted to give the racers, I think my family, our leadership team wanted to give the racers the best outcome possible on a track surface level. But at the same time, like, I was one of the guys that I didn't mind the roughness of the place. I felt like it gave it so much character. But knowing that the original underlayment is still there and the history is still there, and you know, that's important. But I'm incredibly proud and happy with the job that the Howard company did on the paving. I think they've you know, got a great composition for the surface itself. We tested last night a little bit with 3 racers just trying to work on the configuration. We've got one bump that we're not really happy with when you're going forward about 40, 50 feet before entering the bank that unsettles the cart at kind of turn in there. And the Howard Company was out here at 8 o'clock this morning to meet me, and they're bringing infrared machine out next week. They have a plan to completely fix that. And then we've got a little bit of a transition in the seam on the old turn one going into that little front stretch now. Again, they've been super supportive, really looking out for our racers and the future of the place. So nothing but good things to say about them. It takes running it to understand where you need to be, and the track's no different than a new kart or a new race car. I'm excited to get everybody on it. This layout that we're running this weekend isn't particularly one of my favorites. I've always enjoyed running the track forwards, but for this weekend, I do think it was the best decision, and I think it'll race really well. I got in a cart a couple laps yesterday for the first time in a long time, and really enjoyed the new section. And it flows really well. I think it's going to allow for some great racing, and it'll be interesting to see what it does when rubber gets laid down. I think you're going to see a lot of over-unders. You're going to see a lot of drafting down the back straightaway. And the only way you learn is to do it. You've got to step out and do it, and figure out how to solve your problems and how to perfect them, and kind of go from there.
And Vince, back to you for my final question. Growing pains is something you always anticipate when you go to something new. I'm sure Andy can tell you from when they first acquired Whiteland in 2018 and all the improvements they did going forward. I feel like you guys, just being in the background and witnessing, have done a great job of understanding that it's going to happen and trying to have time to anticipate it. But for practice of this week, what can people expect? What day can they get here? What time can they get on track? And how's that all going to work out?
We're going to be open for practice this Thursday and Friday from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. We're going to start it out. We expect to have a lot of practicers out here. So to start off the days, we're going to have 3 rotations: kid carts, 2-cycle, and 4-cycle. As numbers continue to increase, if we don't feel safe having all the 4-cycles or all the 2-cycles out there, we'll split it into 2-cycle age group and 4-cycle age group. So kid carts, 2-cycle, junior and micros, and then adults and masters, and then the same in on the 4-cycle. So you'll have your sportsmen and juniors, and then seniors and masters on that. It's going to be about 10-minute sessions. Just try to get everyone as much track time as they can. We know everyone's really excited to be out here. We're excited to have you here as well. Just bear with us. As a bigger track, I had to get a lot more staff. So some of them are learning just like you guys are with the new facility. I'm still learning things about it. So we'll get you as much track time as you can. Just bear with us. There might be a couple issues here and there, but we'll fix them right away. So can't wait to see everyone tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. It'll be great out here.
And Andy, any closing thoughts before? I'm sure you're jittery this whole week.
Yeah, it's been, my blood pressure's probably a little bit high, but no, I'm proud of what we've been able to accomplish this quick. Like I said, super thankful for people's patience and understanding, continued patience and understanding. We want to maximize track time for everybody the next couple days, but we want to do it the right way. So probably going to take a little bit of working through everything, and we know everybody's excited and as anxious as we are. And I'm going to plan on being here through the weekend, and I'm going to be on track helping Vince and retrieving carts. Hopefully I don't have to do a whole lot of that. And I think it's going to be a fun weekend. The one other thing I did want to bring up that we changed this year is $10 pit ban for everybody on site, and that gives you access to the facility. We've taken a little bit of flack for that too, but I can't drive this home enough, guys. That is not only protection for me and my family, it's protection for you and your family. And I as a dad, I can't imagine not spending $10 to make sure that the proper insurance is in place when you're doing things like this. And it's not just on track. We have a lot of moving vehicles and trucks and trailers and motorhomes in and out, and I want to make sure everybody's covered and everybody's safe and everybody's taken care of. And I think we've got a great insurance provider in NKA. I'm extremely happy with our relationship with Joe Janowski, but I want to make sure that everybody's taken care of. And again, I feel that's a fair price for what the product that we've put out there, and is in alignment or lower than a lot of the places that I've been throughout the country in the last couple of years.
All right, and again, I'll take that so I can read the questions off for you two to answer. I want to reiterate again, if you guys have any questions at all, please put them in the Facebook Live group chat. I'm reading them right now. Read them off so I can hopefully get answered by these two. So we're going to start at the bottom. See if we find the first one. If I have a teenage son that is wanting to get more involved in karting, how is the best way to get him started?
Yeah, so I think that's one of the areas where Whiteland Raceway Park is going to shine. I would encourage you and encourage all of our racers to help us promote our rental kart program. In the end, I am the biggest racer at heart that you will ever meet, but in the end, the rental kart program is what pays for the facility that we all get to enjoy on the competition side. So we really want everybody to help us promote the rental kart program and push people out here. That is the entry level. Get started there. See where you're at. You can work with driver coaching even on the rental car program, and then you can transition to many of our Arrive and Drive teams. There's so many great opportunities from MPG, Race Factory, AMAX, New Gen, Top Kart, and really get your feet wet for a weekend, or come out here for a practice day with them. They've all got pretty affordable programs. They're all great to work with, and there's nothing better than introducing the sport to a newbie and just watching the grin on their face. So we love seeing that, we encourage that, and we'll do anything we can to help that.
And I just want to add on to that, feel free to come on race days, just walk around in the paddock area, the grid area, get a good look at everything. Like Andy said, you're going to have that pit pass anyway, take advantage of that, go up to the team, see what they're doing, talk to people. People here are really kind. I really love that family environment atmosphere we have here at Whiteland. So don't be scared, just come out, walk around, ask questions, and then come try the rental karts and see how much you enjoy it.
Yep. Next question we have is, with the paid spots, if we opt to not do that for the race, how does that work for the racers? Looking at the possibility of rain, I think there's a chance we won't be there and don't want to reserve a spot and then not be there.
No, so on race day, correct me if I'm wrong, you can still come in on race day and get one of the remaining spots for $20.
Yes.
So, we'll try to make that easy. If you did reserve a spot and didn't show up, we can't really do a whole lot about that because we want to take care of the people that we're trying to get the best positioning possible. So, and we try to do that in the most fair way that we can. Again, you're not ever going to please everybody, but we're doing the best we can there. So yeah, come see us on race day. I know a lot of people love the rain. A lot of people don't like the rain. I pray that it doesn't rain, but we're going to be ready if it does, provided lightning stays away.
Mm-hmm. We have plenty of rain tires to sell if you guys don't have them yet.
That's right.
And then just to reiterate, we are selling tires and fuel this year. You'll just have to see the other teams on site for your parts.
Next question is, do you guys know when Supermoto can ride?
It's probably going to be a week or two before we do that. We're 100% focused on our racers right now. We love seeing the Supermoto guys out here. I know, generally speaking, it's more of a weekend thing, but that is our intention, to get them into the lineup on the practice days and allow them some track time. We still got to sort out the rotations to get that perfect and everything, but they'll be allowed back for sure, and we'll get that hammered out as soon as we feel comfortable that we've checked the box everywhere else.
I got another one from says, what is the reason behind the decision to run backwards for the first race?
The reason behind the decision to run backwards the first race is based on a couple things. The bump out of the banking is considerably less going backwards, and to get any heavy equipment in place over the next couple days wasn't feasible. So we ran a couple configurations backwards, and this is the one that we felt was had a good combination of being somewhat forgivable, but something that would still race well. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, we tried a lot of configurations on that test day. We tried ways to make forwards work. Nothing just made us feel really comfortable. You just unsettle that cart on entry, and we want to avoid any unnecessary accidents that we can. So
Yep.
We'll get going forwards soon enough. I know everyone likes forwards, but this week we'll have fun going backwards.
Next question is, will there be media personnel there? And if we bring somebody, what are the requirements to shoot from inside the track?
There will be some media personnel here. I know I've been approached by a few people. If you have the proper wristband, you're welcome to come see Vince or I or see one of our employees and get them to let us know. We'll get you in safe positioning inside the track and would love to have you out.
And I think that is going to do it for the questions that have already been input right now. If you guys want to give the email or way to contact you guys if there's any questions that come up later on in the week.
Yeah, I think it's just customers@racewrp.com. All of that gets forwarded to a combination of Vince and myself. I think some of the other questions I've had, I know our rules state in 2-cycle oil some of our specifics. There will be others allowed as long as it passes our fuel tests. That's the most important thing, obviously. But I know people have their brand preferences, and that's perfectly fine. I don't have anything there. I do want to bring up just overall character and the way that you carry yourself around Whiteland Raceway Park is extremely important to us. In the past, we have issued suspensions to people from the facility for misbehavior, and we're in a position now. Sarah and I continue to put everything on the line to build this place, and simply put, we will not put up with it. We communicate wholeheartedly with Mike Adams, Mark Dismore, the Bailiff family, all the solid Midwest series and national series. So we know who the troublemakers are, and we're not going to let our staff be undermined or treated that way, and we don't want any other racers treated that way. This is still a place that's extremely close to my heart. We still love that family environment, and 99% of the people around here don't cause anything, and it's a lot of fun. But those who do can sour a day really quick, and that's the thing that you can have 99 things go right that day, and that one person driving home that night just ruins your day. So I'm telling you right now, that is the warning. If you've come here to start anything, this is the wrong place and the wrong year. We're not going to tolerate it. So and back to the fuel side, we have a great partner in Browns this year. We're running 100 octane for all the 2-cycle stuff, and we're running 90 octane for all the 4-stroke stuff. We have a really good base. We've done a lot of testing with it. I think it will be very consistent, and we're going to weed you out if you try stuff in the fuel. So please don't put us in that position. Please buy the fuel from inside. We'll keep it as affordable as we can. And if you have a question prior to the race, if you've switched jugs or tanks or lines or whatever it may be, go see our tech people. They're happy to help you to check your stuff and make sure you're within the legal bounds, especially for some of the newbies and everything. Certainly want to be accommodating there. Back to the overall rules side, kind of the same thing goes for tire rules. We're not going to put up with any tire treatment, soaking, baking, any of that stuff. It's a great tire. It's an economical tire. I've talked to guys where the tire just got faster throughout the year. I've talked to guys who ran a single set all last season in 4-stroke competition. If you want to bolt a new set on every week, fantastic, go for it. We're not going to stop you, but it's a great tire. And we've got partnerships with IUPUI Motorsports and with a bigger organization that Sarah and I have worked with in USAC competition and in IndyCar competition in the past. And if we suspect anything or we see anything from our sniffers on site, our durometers on site, we will impound the tire and send it off for testing. We will give you a new tire when we do that while you're holding. And if you refuse the impound, you are automatically suspended for 1 year. And if it comes back with any tire treatments, you're automatically suspended for 1 year.
So I think that's going to be
I'm just going to add one more thing. Yeah. Just covering parents in general. I know in years past, we've let you guys walk the track during races and practice days. in our kid kart category. Towards the end of last year, we kind of did away with that, and it's going to stay the same this year. No one is allowed to be on track while the track is hot, whether you be a regular parent, kid kart parent, it doesn't matter. It's all about safety. We want you to be on the other side of the fences. If your kid, something goes wrong with the cart, don't worry, there will be a track marshal right there to assist them. We'll take care of everything. We just want to keep our workers, our drivers, and our families safe.
Yeah,
so stay off the track for us.
Come here before we open trackside, but we'll be open on the grounds. You feel free to walk the track then. We've got the side-by-side here. I'm sure Vince would be happy to take you for a lap or two to get your kids comfortable. I know the kid kart is, it's a big piece to our puzzle here. We love seeing them. We love seeing the next generation. We really enjoy it. So we just want to keep everybody safe and building the right way.
Absolutely. And the biggest thing to take away too is that I can tell you from an outsider view, and someone who grew up as a kid here, just like Andy did, and just like Vince did when he was working in college, is that the family atmosphere is one of the biggest things here at Whitelands. Everyone usually takes care of each other, and it's usually a good time. So if you guys are on the fence about it, yes, rain might be an issue, but like Andy said before, they got plenty of rain tires here. There's no time like the present to try something new. So even if it does have a chance of rain and no lightning, I'd still say you guys come out and run. We're looking forward to having everyone here coming up this weekend. I know myself, Rocky, and Stuart have been working on trying to, or actually it's mostly been Rocky and Stuart, we're working on having a fantastic live stream. We're going to be announcing it this weekend. So we'll be live if you have family or friends who are going to be watching here. And it should have all the races covered. Huge system that wanted to play that you guys did with the entire broadcast.
So that's something that I'm really excited about. Again, we're probably a couple weeks out from really launching it, but we spent a lot of money and a lot of time on running fiber throughout the facility, like properly underground, multiple camera angles, and a lot of money in audio video equipment this off season to really put on a professional broadcast and integrate that with our timing system, like something that I believe definitely on a local level, and rarely have I seen anything to the extreme on a national level that we've seen. So super excited to share that with everybody. I think that's going to be huge moving forward, and hopefully allows new sponsorship opportunities for some of the teams and things like that too. So always trying to get to the next level, and I think we're one step ahead of it for that.
Absolutely. The marketing side of things is going to be immense. If you have a kid who's trying to maybe get into the entry level, work their way up, there's going to be plenty of coverage of the on-track activity, and then it's something that they can take away personally and then try to promote for themselves. So that is crucial and something that I'm really excited for, being on the announcing side of things. I can't wait to get going here this weekend. But any final thoughts between you guys before we close out the broadcast here?
I don't think so. I'm just continuing to drive it home, like communication, patience, and understanding. Like, we're going to work through some bugs. This weekend isn't going to be perfect. It certainly doesn't look like it's going to be perfect weather-wise right now, but it is the state of Indiana, so you never know. But please, constructive criticism. We're all about that, and our team is working extremely hard and has for weeks and months to get to this stage. So thank you guys, 99% of you that have been absolutely freaking awesome. It makes me sleep a lot better at night. It's so gratifying to see the people that appreciate it. So I'm truly looking forward to Saturday, and I'll be here if you need anything.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for your continued support. You guys are just as big a part of this as we are. Without you racing here and practicing here, we wouldn't be able to have this wonderful facility you see behind us. So work with us. If you see something that you think could be changed for the better, just leave us a suggestion. We'll look at them, we'll discuss, we'll try to make changes. Respect each other on and off the track, respect all of the workers, all the families, and we'll have a great weekend, and I look forward to speaking to all of you at the drivers meeting at 8:30 a.m. Saturday morning.
My closing notes too, I just want to thank all the other Midwest track owners and series, Mike Adams and Mark Dismore and Diz Jr. and all the family out there has been great. The bailiffs have been fantastic. I'm really looking forward to hosting the multiple series here for the rest of 2023 that we have. But I will be supporting their facilities too. I think the stronger we can be for Midwest karting, the better. and I think we'll all be having a lot of fun together and excited to see the rest of 23 and some of the bigger announcements that we have coming for 24.
All right, guys, we look forward to seeing all of you coming up this Saturday. And again, practice will be available starting at 3 o'clock tomorrow on Thursday as well as Friday. We're going to get going with the first race on the new layout here on Saturday. So stay tuned if there are any more updates. Again, if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Email is provided in the link or in the comment section of Facebook and I believe on YouTube as well. But from that, from Andy, from Vince, and from myself, Caleb, we look forward to seeing you guys come here this weekend.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.